What's going on, guys? So I just want to give you guys an update. I just dropped the basket into the tank, hooked up all the lines, and everything is done. Literally all the plumbing is done. So you pretty much have this line right here, which goes out and goes to the surge tank in the trunk, feeds it. We have a line coming out of the surge tank, which is the thicker one here, and that's going all the way to the fuel rails. We have a line coming back from the fuel pressure regulator at the front of the car, and that's this line coming back, going into the surge tank. Then we have an overflow line coming this way right here, back out, and dumping excess fuel right back into the stock tank. And that's basically it. So fuel system is done. All the wiring has also been done since the supercharger setup, which is right here. So this will go on and plug in right into the OEM harness here. And then basically all the wiring we have to do now is just on the surge tank. So that's what we're gonna hit up next, and I'll give you guys an update in just a little bit. Alright guys, so one of the things that was a big concern on here was that this factory oil pressure sensor here, which basically just gives you an oil light when you're running like really low on oil, was usually it's supposed to be technically put into this fitting here. But I want to be able to actually keep track of my oil pressure, at least on a gauge. So I had to essentially come up with something a little bit more clever, and what my tuner helped me out with was suggesting an idea where we make a dash 4 line that kind of essentially comes up here, and he made me a proper oil distribution block here, which is this metal object here. So we have the dash 4 line feeding into that, and then there's actually multiple ports on it. I got one at the back here for later on, and also one in the middle here, but I can't really use that because it's obviously these sensors are too big. But here we have the factory oil pressure sensor. Luckily the wire that used to be plugged in down there made it all the way up here. And then this is the oil pressure gauge, which is going to be for the gauge I'm running, which is it's a glow shift gauge or whatever for oil pressure. So that, and then down the road, I'm going to probably end up getting one more gauge here for the Haltech, so that the Haltech can actually manage the oil pressure, and if it's like low or something, it can like kill the engine through the computer, so which is really good. But yeah, that sensor is like almost $200, so I'm probably going to wait on that because it's not utterly necessary. I'll just keep my eye on the gauge for now. So that's good for now. And then now that that's finished, I just have to make another set of lines here, which is this one here. I'm going to use a dash 6 to make a shorter version of the line I have here for the drain line, because this line that I have here is too long. So that's where I'm at right now. See you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so I just want to show you guys where we're at right now. So over here we got 3 fuel pumps technically, right? So we have one in the tank, stock tank, then we have 2 that are in the surge tank. So these are the 3 red wires that are coming from one from each pump, and each of them is going to a little fuse box of its own with a 25 amp fuse in it. And then that's all going to go, all 3 of them individually going to go to the battery. And then we have a little black wire here that's going to go to the actual oil pressure gauge. And right now we're just setting up the actual relays for the fuel pump, which is going on in the trunk over here. So each of the 2 pumps that are in here are going to get a main lead wire, and that's going to come through that relay first. And then we have ground wires that are also going to connect to somewhere on the chassis over here. And everything is just getting wrapped up inside here as well for the wiring. I know it looks like a bit of a mess right now, but everything's going to be all hidden over there. I just got to find a clean place to mount this ECU, so I'm hoping I can kind of tuck it away up there somewhere so it won't be in the footwell or getting stepped on or anything. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I'll give you guys an update soon. Guys, for the first time in like 2 years, check this shit out. Oh my god, I just heard the fuel pump's prime, which means all the electrical is good to go. Oh man, I can't believe it. Okay, so that's one thing done, and a little bit of wiring left to do, which actually not much, just the oil pressure, what's it called, the oil scavenge pump wiring, which is pretty much just hooking stuff up. But other than that, connecting a couple of ground wires, and I can put the plenum and stuff back on, and we'll be on our way. What's going on, guys? So basically we got a shit ton of shit done today. We actually got all the electrical wiring done. So the actual scavenge pump at the bottom there, which is going to mount, I took it all off for now, but it's mounted, it's hooked up. The wiring is going out here, it's tucked in, everything's running to the battery. It actually powers up. We actually heard it running, so that's awesome. The lower manifolds on, injectors are done, like everything's done with the fuel. Top plenum's on. I just got to get the bolts. I lost all the bolts for the surrounding here, so I got to get that taken care of. And then we kind of got really lucky with the mounting point for the stupid fuel pressure regulator. It's literally touching the goddamn plenum, so I'm gonna have to move this shit over a little bit. I have the boost control solenoid here, so that's gonna go into the actual charge pipe with this. It's gonna go up into there. I have this vacuum line ready to go into the blow off valve, and that's essentially just running this way. It tees off right here to feed into a fitting in the plenum here, and then just goes down towards the Haltech ECU. But later on, I'm not going to have it going to the ECU. We're going to have an actual MAP sensor connected into this vacuum system here. So it's going to run off MAP instead of MAF. So that's manifold air pressure instead of the MAF sensor. And then we just had to hook up some ground wires, and then the brake booster is going to a new fitting we actually had to put in back here. The oil distribution block is ready to go. Got the gauge hooked up. It's going to power, and the black wire here is going to a ground right here. And that's pretty much it for now. I do still have to make a mounting bracket for this guy over here, the catch can. And yeah, that's where we're at. So we're really close to startup. I actually had to buy a bunch of like regular oil that we were going to use just for like breaking it in. And then over here I also have like a bunch of actual Amsoil break-in oil. And then we also have to fill the diff with oil, which I have to do. And then the next thing we have to do is connect the drive shaft and connect the exhaust. And then, am I missing anything? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I actually still have to make a friggin' an exhaust piece that's gonna finish the downpipe. But yeah, that's about it for now. So I'll give you guys an update in a little bit. What's going on, guys? So quick update. Pretty much got almost everything ready to go. All the electrical has been completed thanks to my buddies Marcel and Jas. Basically, we got everything going for the scavenge pump that's going down here. It's going to be mounted up, and that's running. All the fuel system is running. The twin pumps, everything. Plumbing's good to go, no leaks. We have the plenum on. We have the lower collector all bolted down. I'm missing the bolts for the stupid upper plenum, so I got to find those. But vacuum's ready to go. Vacuum lines for the blow-off valve teed into the plenum. Brake booster's connected. Oil distribution block is hooked up with the gauge hooked up and the actual negative post ground wire. Ground wire here. I just have to connect a ground wire, this guy right here. And that's pretty much it. Boost control solenoid's ready. And yeah, other than missing those stupid bolts, which I can't find right now, otherwise we'd pretty much be almost ready to start up. We're almost ready to go, so give you guys an update as soon as I can.